Hi guys, welcome to this week's podcast. This week we have a lot to get through because I just got back from LA, Paris and Milan and I have a lot to tell you. Additionally, I'm avoiding my therapist at the moment. If you're my therapist, stop watching right now. So here's the thing. My therapist sat me down and I talked about this on TikTok, but my therapist sat me down and pulled up lyrics from a certain song and he was like, does this have something to do with you? Because we need to discuss if it does. And I was like, why would you think that? And then I talked about that on TikTok because I thought it was hilarious. Like, I laughed in the session. I laughed walking out the session. I laughed calling all my friends to tell them what the fuck just happened to me. And then I put it on TikTok, and this woman was like, cute lie, but like a therapist would never do that. Sincerely from a therapist. And I clicked on her profile, and she actually was a therapist. And I was like, okay, well, listen, maybe my therapist is just fucking smarter than you because, listen, his methods, they are deeply questionable, but I love that because every other therapist I have had has been transparent. Like, I could probably say the things that you're saying to me in my bedroom mirror. Like, I can see through your techniques. I see through what you're thinking. I literally know what framework you're talking to me off right now. Like, you're stupid. Like, you have, babe, I could get the degree you've got. Like, I don't know. It just didn't seem like they were being very creative. Like, I was getting the same regurgitated bullshit from every therapist. Oh, you're scared of sick because you had a bad experience with it as a child. But the kids that live on my road are so drying. Why do you play in the street? It's not the 1950s. Go inside. Oh my god. The things that my therapist has said to me are mind-blowing. Like, some of the shit that he's come out with, like, I like, you have to be patient with him because, like, a lot of sessions will just be, like, you talking a lot, and then he'll be kind of like, like, taking notes. Like, very old-style therapist, right? Then, on, like, the third session of one topic, he will say something fucking earth-shattering, and he'll say it so casually. Do you think that you do this because of this? Yeah. Now that you said it, what the fuck? He has made the most outlandish suggestions to me, and I consider myself someone who is pretty, like, self-aware. Like, I don't think I'm emotionally stupid, and I definitely spend a lot, if not far too much, time trying to be introspective, often to my own detriment, and I've not come up with 1% of this shit that this man has just thrown at me. Because also, like, I lie to him sometimes, but I lie to therapists all the time because I sometimes don't want them to get caught up on something, and I'm like, I know what I'm doing right now is concerning, like, it's definitely of detriment to my, like, mental well-being, but, like, I've got it under control, and I don't want you interfering, and also, I'm here because I want to resolve this issue, not that issue, and so I'm gonna handle this one by myself and not tell you about it, and then, like, they find out about it by themselves. That is what a digital footprint does to you. That is the shortcoming of it. It's not that you won't get your dream job. It's that your therapist can fucking see. It's terrible. Anyway, but I appreciate everything that he does. And it was honestly a genius move. He's a genius. But anyway, he actually is a genius though, but I don't know. Some of the things that he says rock my world, which honestly, like, before when I've had therapy, it's just like a minor part of my week, and I'm like, okay, well, it's gonna feel good to get stuff off my chest. When I see this man, I brace myself because I'm like, I don't know what you're gonna say in this session. I don't know what you're gonna say that's just gonna completely skew my perception of my entire life and self and family and job. The craziest thing he said to me, right? And this could even help people with the same, like, issue as me, because I have a fear of sick, of, like, vomit, and I've always said to him, or, like, been told by the therapist, like, okay, well, your mum has a fear of sick, so you've picked that up from her, and I believe that, right? And I told him that, and he was like, well, that's like probably true, that's like basic psychology, but, like, what's really interesting is, like, not everyone picks up fears from their parents, so, like, why did you? And I was like, what do you mean, why did I? And he was basically saying, like, I think the underlying problem that you have is that you assimilate to everybody in your life. Because we were talking about relationships and how I become the people that I date. And I was saying, it's interesting, being in this line of work, I can't become the person that I date because people will be like, what are you doing? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's too many eyes and ears for me to act that much of a fool. So I have to be more consistent now. But obviously when I was younger, that wasn't the case. So I would just take everything on. So he was basically saying, like, I think your issue is not a fear of sick or, like, this or that. He was basically saying, like, let's just look into why you take on other people's feelings and behavior to be your own. Okay, fuck off. Jesus, like, shut up. Yeah, okay, fine. God. That is why I pay him the big bucks. I don't even pay him that much. His rate is so good. Let's talk about LA. In LA, everything is done for you. You don't even have to think your own thoughts. It is literally wonderful. I get it now. I get why people move there. I get why it's a thing. And I get why people sit there and say LA is the most miserable place on earth. I've never been more lonely. I've never been more depressed. And then continue to live there. I get it. Look, if I could have my car valeted every time I went to the grocery store, I would do it too. If I could walk into an Air One at my leisure, I would live there too. I really would. The green smoothies are incredible, and the fact that they have those little signs that says, if we sell it here, it's good for you, the peace of mind that brings. My good God, although we did spend something like $180, and I think we bought 4 smoothies, so that's upsetting. But one of them was sea moss, so I don't know what sea moss is. It's like health and wellness on a plate at the expense of your sanity, but I get why people trade that in. So anyway, I did like LA. I thought it was pretty, like, obviously there's 2 very, very, very different sides to LA, like, and I was only seeing one side, but I feel like a lot of people that I consume the content of also see that same side or live in that side. So that's why I'm talking about that side, and I have no idea about the other side. Like, I'm very lucky to not have any clue about that. That is another world though. Like, even in the most deprived parts of London, like, you don't see that shit. Because we don't have that stuff. Like, it's crazy. And people are so, like, numb to it out there. Take your shitty poodles away from my car. Now. I love you so much. Okay, anyways, LA was fun. The thing is, like, in London, obviously, like, I know about the culture a little bit. Like, if you tell me, okay, this is, like, the only piece of culture I know, but let's say you tell me we're going to Tape, which is, like, a nightclub. You say we're going to Tape. I'm obviously going to look nice. Like, I'm going to dress nicely. And then I don't understand the same things in LA. Like, I don't know what's hip and cool, etc. Like, you could tell me, I don't know. Like, someone said we're going to Poppy's tonight, and I was, like, sick. I'll wear my PJs. Do you know what I mean? Like, that, apparently, was an error. I don't know. So everywhere we'd been that week was like low key and like small and like like nothing fancy. So I was like, okay, like it's gonna be the same thing, and I'm like sick of getting dressed and getting up, and I'd just taken like the fattest nap of my life. So I was like, I'm just gonna go as I am, like it'll be fine. And it turned out to be like a nice, I don't know if Poppy's is a nice place. Someone from LA can tell me if it is or isn't. But it was definitely a busy place. It was 100% a busy place. And okay, so this is what I'm going to talk about with confidence. I'm going to get off this topic ASAP. But listen, confidence-wise, I was sat where I was sat in Poppy's, and these 2 girls were like dancing nearby. They were like on a raised platform. So like, they were basically at this point the only people in the entire room that could see me because I'd hidden myself. I'd climbed behind where people were standing. There was like a hole in the wall, and I had realized like, oh, there's a lot of people here. I'm in my pajamas, and also like I didn't never know what to do with my face, so I'm gonna look like I have a face like a smacked ass. Like I'm gonna look like I'm not enjoying myself, but I'm perfectly happy. But I know that people always think I look miserable when I look happy, so I'm gonna hide because I don't know how to fake. And I'm not gonna sit like this. Like I don't know how people do it, and I'm definitely not gonna fucking dance. So I'm gonna hide. So I crawl into this hole in the wall, and that's where I stayed the whole. After the first 10 minutes, that's where I remained for like an hour. Guys, I'm editing this podcast, and after seeing myself say that, I had to go back and delete a whole 3-minute segment of this podcast where I sit there and say, I don't have autism, stop telling me I have autism, because what do I mean I crawled into a hole in the wall in a nightclub so people couldn't see me because I don't know how to look happy, even when I'm happy. In my PJs, in a club, I feel like I don't have good friendships at the moment. Like, I have friends, but they're scattered everywhere. And, like, I don't really speak to any of them. Like, every friendship is like we check in with each other and we love each other so much from a distance. And, like, I don't like intense things. Like, even in romantic relationships, babe, I want to hear from you once a day. The thing is, I think I have an issue with emotional permanence, okay? I've learned this word from TikTok recently, and I'm using it a lot. Second you're not with me, I don't really give a fuck. And the thing is, it's not like I don't care about you. It's just that I'm immediately like, okay, I'm alone, and I'm so happy to be alone, and I don't want to change that I'm alone right now. And then I see someone, And I'm like, I don't want to be alone. I want to be with you. I love being with you. I love physical contact. I love kissing you. I love being around you. I love talking to you in person. I hate texting. I despise texting. I think it is the least enjoyable activity ever. I don't like how long it takes my thumbs to hit the individual letters. I don't like the way that I can't guarantee my tone of voice getting across right. I don't enjoy it physically or emotionally. I hate it, and I never do it. And I never check in on my long distance friends, and my friendships suffer. But then the second I see them in person, I'm like, I still value the person so highly, and that wasn't like a question in my head. Like, I always knew I valued them. I love being around people when I'm around them, and then in the moment, I think I'm like, I want to be around you for so long. And then the second I'm not with them, I'm like, I love my own company so much. I never want to be with anybody ever again. And like, it's such a weird thing. Like, the second that I'm not with someone, I kind of forget how nice it is to be around them. Like, my brain just can't remember it. I don't know. And so the last relationship I was in were like before the last, how does one word this? The last pre TikTok era girlfriend that I had was so intense, and I think it's given me a phobia of intense relationships, because she wouldn't even let me go home from her house. Like, she was that kind of girlfriend. Like, I couldn't leave without feeling guilty. I remember one time she actually cried, and I was like, babe, I don't know if I've talked about this before. My mom's disabled. And during COVID, I got really, really anxious about her disability, because I kind of became like very conscious of it for the first time. I was like, oh my God, like, not many people in the world have your disability, and like, I don't know, maybe COVID will take you out. Like, I don't know how it's going to affect you, even though it made no logical sense to really even worry about that for her, because her disability is like physical and not really very like internal, especially not respiratory. I was worried about my mom, and I was like, I'm gonna go home. Like, I haven't been home in days. I'm gonna go check on her. Like, I just want to spend some time with her as well, because it's lockdown, and I know I shouldn't be going between houses, but I wouldn't say I have respect for the girl, but I definitely don't have like disrespect for her. Like, she's not an enemy. She's just a void person that I used to know, if that makes any sense. And I'm like nervous to talk about exes ever, like, online, because I don't want them to feel bad. But then at the same time, I'm like, well, you kind of made me feel bad at one point in my life, so let me at least get some content out of that. But I don't know, I'm like cautious to speak about her, because even if I don't think she's a good person, I don't think she's like a terrible one. I think she's just a person, and people make mistakes. Some just bigger than others. Some people are just, but you know what, like, those are the people you have to have empathy for. Like, I think because I had a relationship that was so intense in my past, and I hated it, I've kind of become even more averse than I already was to intense relationships. But I've never been an intense relationship kind of girl, and I've never been a friend group kind of girl either. I have, in my life, been part of a friend group once. It's not my thing. I don't like it. It's not for me. Like, I take my company that I keep so seriously. I always have. I think the character of the company you keep is almost as reflective on you as your own behavior. And I've always just kind of had a sense of that since I was like, I don't know, literally since I started reception. When I started reception, I had one friend. She was my best friend. I don't remember how we met. I literally love her. I don't think she's ever wronged anyone. I think she might be the best person in the world. We stopped being friends after like year 3, but that was because I moved school and she made other friends. But she was my one friend, and then I had a couple other friends at school, and then like in like year 5, I made my next like one friend. And then that we had like other people around us that were our friends, but like she was my friend. And I'm not saying like, oh, that's just called a best friend. Like, no, she was the only person I would have called a friend. And then the same thing in secondary school, I made one friend and we were friends. We're still friends now. Yeah, I've never been the type for like a friend group or anything. Like, I like my people, and I'm very specific about who they are. But I like that about myself. But yeah, bugs. But yeah, I want a low maintenance relationship, and I can't decide if that's authentic to me as a person or a trauma response. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. I don't know. I really don't know. Like, when I think about being married, I'm like, okay, well, I want someone that like knows me really well, but like, I kind of don't want to be in a relationship. Like, I want someone who knows me really well, who I have amazing connection with, great sex with, but I don't even want to live with them. I'll be so real. I feel like I'm just a crap version of myself lately, and that's fine. Like, you don't always have to be a good person or anything, but when I know that I'm making decisions that are bad for me, I'm like, God, bitch, you are literally the only person who is meant to look out for yourself the way, like, solely look out for yourself and, like, have your best interest at heart. And you're sitting here worrying more about everybody fucking else. What is actually wrong with you? There is no one else in the entire world who is going to have your back the way you're meant to have your back, and you're out here just, like, watching everyone else's back? What do I pay you for? Sorry if you can hear my dog chewing on her bone. Yeah, I feel bad because she just stopped doing it when I said that. No, please keep going. She's dropped the bone. See, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm a bad person lately. I feel like my confidence is low. Like I said, like, the last time I was probably this not confident was when I was 4. Please don't throw up. Anyways, yeah, like I said, the last time my confidence was this low, I was a selective mute because of the fact that I feel like I've been making decisions that just don't, like, benefit my well-being, even if they benefit other things. But I think that's tough. Like, sometimes you have to make decisions that are going to be, like, financially fruitful for you, and they might not be mentally the best decision. I feel like in this day and age, you can't do both, right? Humans are literally meant to be, like, in the fucking, like, jungle, naked and happy and, like, screaming and stuff. Well, can your financial decisions benefit your mental health? Probably fucking not. No, because, like, I'm not even supposed to be able to understand the concept of money. I can't see how living the lifestyle that any single human being on this planet lives could actually be beneficial to your mental health. No, that's wrong. I'm wrong about that. But I don't know. I haven't formulated a full thought on it yet. So ignore me. I don't know anything. But do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just, like, at a loss a little bit. Do you want to at least say hi? Tell the people what you think. Am I a good mother? Oops. Dropped her. Sorry. At my happiest, I am alone and, like, but completely alone. Like, I'm not really happy at the moment because I'm living with my mum. And as much as I love my mum and I love living with her, and every time I move out, I want to come the fuck home. But I've only ever lived at university before. I've never, like, lived in my own place and, like, worked a job or just, like, generally been living a life. I've always been at uni, which is, like, I did not thrive at uni. I really want to move out, but it's expensive to move out because I feel like there's no point moving out if I'm not moving to London at this point in my life. But London's rent is like £2,000 to £3,000 a month, unless you live with someone. But I don't want to live with someone. Like, I'd rather live with my mum. I can't live with people. I don't know what's wrong with me. Bitches will say it's autism. I don't know. And I'm not going to get tested. I'm freeballing it and I genuinely don't care. But something makes me go feral when I hear noise. I can't do noise. Noise pisses me off if it's out of my control. Like, if there's someone in a room adjacent to me and I hear them walk, I'm gonna have to walk into the room and kill you. Mummy's trying to work. This is why you don't have kids. Mummy needs to earn money so that she can bun you off to doggy daycare. Yeah, you're gonna have so much fun there and you're not even gonna know that it's because I'm too busy to take care of you. Okay, you know what? I think we're gonna go because we're gonna change things. I am gonna move away soon from my small village where I grew up in my mother's house. That is why I'm feeling so down, I think. Things are gonna get better. I'm gonna move to London. I'm gonna start hanging out with people my own age and meet new people and new women and just kind of get back to feeling like a good person, because I don't know why I don't feel like a good person. Like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just not, like, doing anything right either at the moment. That's how I feel. But then I also don't even want to say that because I'm like, your tongue is powerful, bro. Like, I don't even want to say anything negative toward myself, my career, my friends, because that then manifests itself into existence. So I'm not going to even put that in. Yeah, I am, probably. All right.